welcome back.
Let's give a good mythical welcome to Chris Betancourt and Dylan Hill. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Now, guys, you're here because, Chris, it was on your bucket list to be on Good Mythical Morning.
Yes, and it's an absolute honor to be here and sitting next to you guys. Never expected it to actually happen.
Well, it's really cool to be on somebody's bucket list and to help them check it off. Do you have the actual bucket?
It's on our website.
Because I never leave my without my bucket.
Mine's smaller than Link's.
No. We actually need some. We need to make
physical
our own
buckets
buckets.
to bring with us everywhere we go.
But we were really excited to have Chris and Dylan on the show because we wanted you to hear their story. And I really think over the course of the next few minutes as we talk about this, you can help really make a difference in some people's life. So let's get into it. Tell us your story.
Well, Dylan and I have been best friends since the 4th grade.
Awesome.
Really long time for some people's standards.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in October of last year, I was re-diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia. And unfortunately, I've been going through it for a while, but this time they told me it was medication resistant, and I have a year to live unless I find a bone marrow donor. And so right now, I'm living my bucket list and just trying to find a bone marrow donor, trying to raise leukemia awareness. And hopefully we can get a bone marrow donor to help possibly save my life. And if not, we're hoping to raise enough awareness that we can at least save someone else's life, because that's something, that's big. And it's bigger than just my life. If there's other people we can help and save, then yeah, I'm down to do it.
And that's where you mythical beasts come in. That's why we wanted to have these guys come on here, because you guys have an opportunity today to help potentially save Chris's life or somebody else's life.
Yeah, and I before we get into the mechanics of it, I just love the part of your story about how the friendship continues and how, in some ways, I was going to say that maybe you put your life on pause in terms of your college career.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not the right way to put it. Maybe it's the exact opposite.
Mm. It's a much better step. Yeah, so Chris and I was with there when he was first diagnosed in 5th grade, and so we've kind of been through this before. I joke, and every time he calls, I'm not looking forward to that phone call because he's called me quite a few times with bad news. This time he called me and told me that he has a year left to live, and one thing he said was he's afraid of not being able to experience things. And some of the examples he gave were really basic things that I was planning on doing soon, like maybe getting married or buying a new car or, signing for a house, just things that we plan on doing, but aren't there for him. And then I just decided, you know what? I have so much opportunity in my life. Let me give some of that up. I dropped out of college and I asked him to come to me with a list of 50 things. And some of those things we put on the list, like be on Good Mythical Morning, which we did not expect to happen.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting that at all.
We have lift weights with The Rock, but we also have...
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. We also have other things on the spectrum. Like the first thing we crossed off was to feed homeless people, which is something you always hear about, but you never do.
Yeah.
And we were able to do that. Help an old lady across the street. That's, that's a joke. A lot of people mention that of something they should do. We have also some big things, like Chris wants to get a new car. He said the same one. He wants to get a new bed. Just, it's the whole spectrum of what life is about, and now we're experiencing it together.
And you can see the whole list on your website.
Yeah,
What is it?
at onelist.life, there's ways to, besides bethematch.com, they're a very big help, but you can sign up on our website as well, which redirects, through Be The Match, and we've just tried to make everything there, our YouTube videos, our bucket list items, everything is there and hopefully easy to navigate.
and kind of the reason I wanted to start this was if Chris is going to pass, I want to be able to remember him and have a photo book. And so we started the YouTube channel, and now we have so many people supporting us, and I have a document of who he is to me and experiencing life together.
That's an amazing story.
But your passing is not a done deal.
There's a chance.
There's a chance, yeah.
Well, we're gonna find because
so explain that
we
whole
need to find a
process.
match.
Yeah.
There's no one on earth that is currently in the Be The Match registry that matches you well enough to save your life.
Yeah,
So the exercise is to find more people to add to the registry in order to save your life or other people who are in the same position or will be in the same position.
Yeah, it's you either get a call or you don't get a call. They don't really let you know if you're getting close or not. So unfortunately, I haven't gotten any calls, and it's just really a waiting game right now to hopefully find a match. We're just hoping to raise this awareness, like I said, and hopefully, you know, I can get saved and keep living my life. But
Absolutely,
the bigger
man.
thing is it can save someone else as well.
The more people that sign up to be on the registry,
the more lives.
more people that can save Chris, and the more lives in general that are saved because of, you know, just swabbing your cheek.
Right, because it's really a numbers game, and this is what's fascinating to me is this isn't. You might be like, well, why don't you just get one of your family members to do it? Well, it's interesting the way that it works. It's actually more likely that somebody out there who's a distant relative or somebody that you don't know is going to be the exact match that you need, and that's why it's usually coming from a stranger.
It could be like a 1 in a million chance.
Yeah.
It varies from person to person what their chances are, so it's hard to say that specifically, but it's certainly a worthwhile exercise.
And Link's going to show us how easy the process of adding yourself to the registry is.
Yeah, so you go to bethematch.org and you get the swab guide sent to you. I'm going to do this right now. Buccal swab kit directions. They should call it something better than buccal. They should call it something fun like mouth swab fun kit.
Okay. We'll put that request in.
Read that out loud, and I'm going to do it.
Okay, and will say really quickly, the only reason that I'm not doing this is it's been recommended that if you have chronic back issues like I do, that
You're not a candidate.
I'm not a candidate for it, but most everybody else is. So like we're talking like 95% or more of the population, great candidate for this. So
and it's free.
And I'm happy to do it. I will say before I swab my cheek, because that's what you're all waiting for. I can't wait to see him swab that cheek. That's going to be so much fun. When I've heard about bone marrow donorship, I've heard about how incredibly painful it is, and of course, me being such a queasy wheezy, I think I've put off even looking into it, honestly, because of this fear I have of how much it's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. It's not a rational thing. It's just something you always have a reason to do something else besides sign up for the registry.
but that's a misconception.
But it is it's a misconception because it's an outpatient procedure. Mm. Let me go back. When you swab, you send it in. You're part of the registry. You may never be called. But if you are a match, you may be the only person on earth who can save somebody's life. Yeah. And then you have an opportunity to then go, all expenses paid, everything covered, to donate your bone marrow. And it's an outpatient procedure. So over the course of less than an hour, right?
Yeah. About 45 minutes.
You're put under anesthesia. They take bone marrow out of your hip bone. Mm-hmm. And then for the next few weeks, you just have a dull pain in your back.
Yep.
Like somebody punched you just above the butt.
Yeah.
And, I feel like for me, I can't defend not swabbing my cheek and joining the registry if it's me feeling like I'm getting punched above the butt or saving a life. Right. It seems, so...
And it really is saving someone's life. That's
it's no one with any of these blood conditions can just decide, I'm just going to go to the hospital and get saved. It's literally reliant on someone else. It's one of those few things out there medically wise that it's literally like, I can't save my own life. I need you. Yeah. And it's one of those rare things that we need, bring more awareness to.
Maybe I'm your man.
Hopefully.
Let's do this.
That'd be great.
Step
that would be
one
awesome.
for Happy Mouth Fun Time swabbing time.
Yes.
Open the swab package.
Done.
Remove one swab.
Did.
2, swallow.
Swallow? The swab?
No,
that's going to freaking hurt.
No. You just swallow.
That's how they get the sample?
You swallow. Then
hold on. I got to swallow.
Yeah. Because you want to get grimy. You don't want them to be matching people with lamb tongue. You know what I'm saying?
Good point. This man has all the markings of a lamb. Tongue.
Swallow. Then brush the swab inside your cheek and along the gum line for 10 seconds.
Count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This is fun.
8, 9, 10.
Woo! Happy fun swab time.
Wrap one barcode label around the stick farthest from the swab tip.
I've already did
like
that.
a flag. 4, place the labeled stick into the adhesive strip as shown below.
That's on that. So give it.
The adhesive strip.
And then
I had that. Sorry. Got carried away with Happy Mouth Fun Time swab boys.
So I'm putting that here. Bam. And then it says repeat the process one more time. There you go. And if you have fast enough internet connection, you can now take my DNA. for your own replicatory purposes.
No, we don't have that technology.
I'm going to hold
yet.
that here really still so you can do that depending on your internet connection.
Okay.
Okay? There you go. Make more of me.
We're going to continue to talk to these guys in Good Mythical More and enjoy some food with them, but we want to encourage you all to go to bethematch.org.
Be the match.
You can get one of these kits. You can potentially save somebody's life. Again, this is the most mythical thing that we can ask you to do. This is the epitome of mythicality, is the ability to sacrifice yourself for somebody else. And you know what? It's not even much of a sacrifice. It's getting punched in the butt. That's all it takes. So bethematch.org and also mybestfriendslist.com.
Yeah.
These guys' website.
Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. You guys say, you know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
I'm Genevieve from Nanticoke, Pennsylvania, and I'm here at Montage Mountain, and it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
Click the bottom link to watch this episode from the beginning.
There was a person leaning off the side of the ski lift to be out of the shot.
Yeah.
And
It was Mom.
the top link to watch us and the crew eat the lasagna pretzel with Chris and Dylan in Go Mythical More.
And to find out where the wheel of mythicality is going to land.
To support Be the Match, please go to bethematch.org and find out how you can join the donor registry and help another friend.